We have a guest. She's here.
Are you still there? I'm so
Hey!
sorry. I'm so sorry. I totally thought it was tomorrow. Oh my God.
Well, it's Sunday for us here, but it's Saturday for you, Elana. Have you got your camera on? I can't quite see anything at the moment.
Yeah, let me see where that is. I don't know. Oh, yes, I see. I've got it covered. There I am.
Hey, there we go.
Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm pretty good about this. I don't miss things, but I sure spaced this out.
I take back all the bad things I said about you when you weren't here.
No.
Oh, no, we were just sort of chin-wagging and trying to put a show together in the meantime. So I'm so glad you've been able to join. That's fantastic.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how much time you have. I mean, I could always make it up at another time, given that I owe you.
Well, we've been recording for about, we decided to start recording for about 40 minutes now. We've been online for just over an hour. Ethan, are you happy to stay online for a little while longer while we have our guest here?
Yeah, I can stay until about 2:30, mate. That's fine.
Yeah, so about just
if we need to.
Nearly another hour. Yeah, I can probably do the same. It's about 20 to 2. It's 1:42 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. And you're over on the East Coast. Sorry, the West Coast, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm West Coast. Here in Olympia, Washington.
Oh, you're Washington. Okay, all right. Well,
I'm where they make the weather off the coast. This is,
yeah.
I call it the cauldron.
That's sort of some of the stuff that we wanted to get into. We've been sort of tying a lot of that discussion lately on our podcast, Elana. Oh, actually, before I get into that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome our guest. This is Elana Freeland from elanafreeland.com, author and researcher. You've pumped out a whole bunch of books, and your most recent one is actually one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on for a chat as well, because you seem to have tied a lot of the things together that we've sort of been covering over the last, maybe 2 or so years on the show. Right. So thank you for joining us. Is it Elana or Elena? How do you prefer it?
Yeah, Elana. Okay. Joining you late. I apologize profusely to everyone. Okay. The latest book is the Geoengineered Transhumanism book. And
that's the one, yes.
It's super important because it does tie together all the things that geoengineering has been working on for going on 3 decades. All, of course, national security level. You don't hear about it. All you hear about is climate change and carbons and global warming. And you don't really hear that it's part of the space fence. It's part of the secret space program. It has everything to do with our nervous system and the transhumanism that is now obvious if you know what you're looking at. Now that we have this almost 3-year pandemic, so-called, it really has to do with implementing something into the human body now that the environment is completely controlled. And it's full spectrum dominance, they call it. It's the doctrine of full spectrum dominance. And they have achieved that, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we were speaking to a gentleman by the name of Jim Lee, who runs Weather Modification History.
Yeah, I know Jim.
So he was on our show last 2 weeks ago. He's going to come back on again towards the end of the season in a couple of episodes to wrap it up again for us. But again, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to get you on as well, because we're sort of tying all this in together. There's a lot of talk about 5G. Is that playing a role in it? Is there all these separate things like transhumanism? All the mass vaccination campaign on a global scale. Geoengineering and weather modification. All these things seem to be all little separate issues that people seem to be talking about and stuff. But it appears that you seem to have tied it all together as one whole agenda and what this is. So that was one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on to have a chat about it, and specifically, of course, with the new book that you put out. So again, thank you for sparing the time. It's all good. Don't worry about being late and stuff. We can do another 45 minutes or so, or however long it takes. 2:30 probably our time will be a good time to wrap it up. So I'm happy to give you the floor and to chat about the book. Of course, tell us before we get into that though a little bit about yourself, Elana, for our listeners.
Well, I started all this. I'm 75. I'm a 60s person. I can
Don't look a day over 50, mate. Come on.
Oh, come on. But I can hardly believe that I'm so fortunate as to have been able to live long enough to see this, what is going on now, happening.
Yeah, right.
Because back in my generation, when I came of age, during the years of the assassinations, the Kennedy assassination, the Martin Luther King assassination, and the Robert Kennedy assassination, after, of course, Malcolm X, I have been following the trail of what we used to call the establishment for all these years. I mean, a lot of 60s people may have given up and may have made their fortune on Wall Street with their great intelligence and done a lot of things. A lot of us got lost in the CIA, FBI, COINTELPRO days, where they targeted my generation beyond belief and put bad acid in the streets, had MK Ultra running full speed ahead. There were so many things that my generation, the largest generation in history, was subject to here in the United States, as the Cold War was deeply embedded in the nation as patriotism. And that's really important to know, that was the mindset that the CIA, which was, most people don't know this, was founded by Reinhard Gehlen of the SS, the Nazi SS. We had the National Security Act, 1947, that the year I was born, was implemented. And that means that anytime anybody needs something to be secret, everything stops and it goes into closed session. These are the things that have destroyed this nation. Yeah. And I have been studying it all for all these years because my grandmother was an immigrant from Romania, and she loved this country. She thought it was the greatest country on earth. But one day when we were on the bus, I lived with my grandparents while my mother worked full time and time and a half to support me. Grandma said to me that she had realized that Dracula had taken over the United States. Dracula being Dracula.
Yes.
Of course, for her, she was a Roma. She's a gypsy. She's from the gypsy people.
Oh, right. Okay.
She really was serious. And I never forgot that. And when I got older and began to really look at what happened in Vietnam when, we took the Phoenix program into Laos and Cambodia and murdered millions of people. There was so much that I had to put together all those years. So I was already pretty much an expert at reading between the lines and going down into the basement and pulling stuff up that nobody wanted to hear. By the time I hit the other national security program, namely, which is like Manhattan Project 2, is the geoengineering program. Right. And so I just moved my laser beam over to that area and started looking at what, of course, mainstream media was saying, which you can never believe. And we knew that in the 70s. We knew that it had been taken over by Operation Mockingbird through the CIA, that the CIA was running Hollywood, it was running everything, because the CIA is not an intelligence agency, it's a Nazi agency. And so slowly, as the geoengineering, I didn't know how serious it was. I had a file on chemtrails and I had a file on HAARP, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project.
Yep.
I didn't even know at that time that they were connected. I mean, that's how much I didn't know. So I just dug in and started studying. And then as destiny happens, I met Clifford Carnicom, the one independent scientist who used to work for the Department of Defense and the Bureau of Land Management and had gone off on his own. He was collecting detritus coming down in the wake of the jets flying over northern New Mexico And
Right.
he knew what he was looking at up there were not contrails. He knew what a contrail looked like, condensation trail.
Yeah.
These were all chemical signatures that were pouring out of the backs of these jets. So he began to collect precipitation, and then he had a HEPA filter, which is a very good filter in those days, and he began to pull the fibers and things off of that, and discovered the smart dust, discovered Morgellons, fibers, filaments, and set up a test that we did. That's how I met him. Is he had me do the red wine test, which is where you clean your mouth out, and then you put in some red wine and you slosh it around for 5 minutes, and then you spit it in a clean dish in order to see if there were filaments in there. And by golly, I saw one wiggling its way across the liquid in the dish. So that got my attention.
Jesus, right. Okay.
Then when we did the blood tests, we put a drop of my blood on a slide and put it under and took a look. And my blood looked pretty good compared to some of the other samples that Clifford had, in the sense that all my erythrocytes, my red blood cells, were all pretty round and pretty healthy looking. But then I saw that there was some sort of an entity in with my blood that was literally sucking the iron out of my red blood cells and making the red blood cell go flat.
Wow.
So that was the beginning for me to realize how serious this was from a biological standpoint. I mean, it was, I already knew that we were breathing in a lot of strange stuff that was being not just coming out of the jets because it was a military national security program and they had to, break a few eggs to make an omelet and, that whole way of thinking, but that this was all, as time went on from one book to the next, I realized that this was being done on purpose. And this was intentional, and that the atmosphere was, yes, being changed chemically and electromagnetically, and that what was coming down as very tiny. We didn't even have the term then of nanotechnology. We didn't have that term. We just knew that it was tiny, and that's when I realized that this was all being done intentionally. And this is a big moment for me, because then I just sort of rolled up my sleeves and really dug in. Now, I had already written Chemtrails, HAARP, and the Full Spectrum Dominance of Planet Earth in 2014. In 2012, I had gone to the one great conference we had before. In my opinion, we have been hit in a variety of ways to knock out certain activists, kill certain activists, and divide us all, so that we didn't have a cohesive movement. But in 2012, we had Consciousness Beyond Chemtrails conference in Los Angeles, and everybody was there who was anybody. I mean, Jim Lee wasn't there. You mentioned, but all the other, the so-called luminaries of the movement, and I was just a new kid on the block.
Dane Wigington and a few others probably.
Right, Dane was there. Michael Murphy was still alive then, the filmmaker of What in the World Are They Spraying? And why in the world are they spraying? And Scott Stevens was there. He was the meteorologist from Colorado. Clifford Carnicom was there. That's why I went, because Clifford and I thought we could catch up with each other, because we'd both lived in Santa Fe, but now we'd both gone our separate ways. I was living back up here in Washington State, and he was on the move. It was, we showed Michael's latest film there, Why in the World Are They Spraying? It went over very well. We had Cynthia McKinney was there. She was a U.S. representative at that time. It was just a great conference. Everybody was connected. It was the one moment when we were all connected,
Yeah.
and then everything was scattered to the winds. And now Michael's dad, he was almost done with his third film. He became, he went kind of crazy in that he ended up on a lot of drugs and living in the streets. I knew he was targeted.
Yeah, wow.
I never thought for a moment that he had just sort of dumped his whole career for the sake of taking a bunch of drugs.
The establishment doesn't like people coming together to work these things out and to form a picture of what they're doing, do they?
And one of the people who was at the conference, whose name I will not mention, I have discovered over the years is definitely working for the opposition. And that is very unfortunate. And this person has done everything possible to split the movement and has succeeded beyond my wildest imagination. So anyway, we're all split now. I've gone and taken a separate path because now I'm seeing how it works to fill the atmosphere with certain entities, pathogens, heavy metals, nanotech on a nanoscale, for all of us to be breathing it in, so that we're becoming hosts for all of this very experimental stuff that's being delivered with aerosols. I mean, now they're admitting that they're going to use the aerosols for vaccinating people.
Yeah, I've seen a few of things like that popping up as well.
Are a crucial component to prepare the human body for the pathogens and the mRNA that will lead us to a different genetics and deliver certain components that are literally nano-sized. You know, a nano is 1/1000th of a meter, just to be clear how small it is. And to deliver through these jabs, these inoculations, computer components that are on a nanoscale, routers. There's whole routers being found now by researchers and doctors who are using electron microscopes to look in and spectroscopes in order to understand what's really being injected into people.
Have you seen the videos, Elena, of where people are emitting Bluetooth signals after being jabbed? Have you seen those?
And that's a big part of it because
that is freaky stuff.
Well, the 5G is the essential part there. 5G, 6G, they go together. They're not talking about 6G, but it's a done deal as well as the 5G. And these systems will be tracking the nanotechnology in us. See, the first nanotechnology we breathed in that is connected to what is now being injected into people's arms was Morgellons. And the Morgellons is an unfortunate name because it was an 18th century term for a skin ailment. And I assume it was the CIA that pulled that out of their hat from history to give this pathogen that Clifford Clarnicum was finding in what he was collecting. And he was able to, with great effort, because he had a shoestring budget. He didn't have a National Institute of Health budget to do all the work he did. He was able to break into the polymer filament to the organs or the components of this so-called Morgellons, and he renamed it at that point because he ascertained all alone. Meanwhile, on his computer, he's seeing that his site is being hit by all the alphabet agencies, over 125 of them, hitting his site to see what he was coming up with and refusing to respond to him when he wrote them with dire need to have them look at some of what he was finding, because at that point he was still naive and assuming they just didn't know how dangerous.
Oh, he thought they could help.
And they were meanwhile just amusing themselves, perhaps, by watching him discover what they already knew. So the connection between the Morgellons, he named it the cross-domain bacteria, CDB. The bacteria having been gain of function, that's a term we now know, meaning that they change it into something that they can then patent and make money off of and own and keep
re-engineering it basically, yeah.
And so the CDB is what we now see from the La Quinta Columna, who are the wonderful science guys in Spain, who are doing a lot of electron microscope work. We're seeing these little round things. These are the organs of the this Morgellons creature, and now it's gone much further. So we have a lot of things going into people, and at the same time, one of them being graphene oxide, for example, a very good example.
Yeah.
It's being injected, but also it's being used in the aerosols for weather to do the weather systems, to do all sorts of experiments that are going on up there, not just with weather, but with electric
electromagnetism and stuff. Hey, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so much is going on. New life forms, plasma life forms. Oh yeah, because our atmosphere is completely ionized now. Ever since HAARP was successful in controlling the ionosphere, and the U.S. is the primary who controls the entire ionosphere now. So that has to do with the weather. The weather has to do with controlling all of the atmosphere that we breathe all around the world, not just the United States. And so I could honestly say that everybody has breathed in Morgellons and has it in their body, but not everybody ends up with the symptoms that many people have of these terrible lesions that open up in their skin, and then out come these little wiry looking things that are...
Yeah, I've seen imagery and video of that sort of stuff. Is that something that the human, like maybe some people are more equipped to deal with? Like, can we keep them at bay? Is that, by living healthy and being healthy, is this something we have the ability to kind of fight off?
Well, I think it's a very interesting term you use, the term fight off, because this creature, not just the Morgellons is part of it, but there's more creatures that are being injected into people now.
Like parasites almost, hey?
Yeah, there's parasites, there's fungi, there's the computer components I told you about, which has to do with the 5G control. The graphene oxide is being put in to magnetize us. And eventually what the graphene oxide is able to do, because it's self-replicating in a warm environment, is it gets inside the body and it will literally eventually take the place of your nerves.
Wow.
And turn you into a cyborg.
Yeah.
So
it's self-replicating, you said, hey, because we've seen... Yeah, I've seen someone, I'm not sure who was, maybe it was Dr. Jan Ruby, someone put some video footage up of it. You could almost see it assembling something. I don't know what it was, but it was doing something.
Right.
For sure.
You're thinking of the Tesla, what is the name of that? It's an electromagnetic way to make something self-replicate. Okay, so right here, this is where we all have to get really smart. Is that if there is replication going on of the graphene oxide, it is being electromagnetically triggered from the environment. So that's the 5G, 6G systems. And they are they are a weapon system, no question about it. They have nothing to do with fast downloads and all the rest of the BS that we're told
it was developed by the military, wasn't it?
Yes, well, all this technology is from the military. Yeah. Your iPhone, see, I don't own an iPhone. I feel very smug and virtuous about that. The iPhone is a weapon system. The computer that I'm talking to you through now is a weapon system. The television is a weapon system, probably the first real dangerous weapon system, because it's programmed the entire nation to, and still now the programming is much more sophisticated in televisions, because you have the flat screen and an HD types, and you've got full spectrum microphones in it, and filming going on while you're watching what you think is a film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've never owned a TV because I knew it was a weapon system, and I didn't feel qualified to really be able to handle it. To me, I mean, the computer, can I handle this? Well, I try to, because I need it for writing. I make my living from writing. I write
Fire with fire, hey? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to deal with but otherwise I have a landline. It collects messages for me. I don't think anyone needs to know where I am 24/7, though you probably would have liked to have known where I was when I wasn't where I said I was going to be. Now and then I come up with, those sorts of circumstances where, yeah, it would be nice if I could call someone and tell them that the train was late or whatever. So, yes, the thing to remember is the electromagnetic part of all of this, and that includes the chemical trails, that includes the barium, the strontium, the aluminum, the chromium, the lithium, all those different heavy metals in the chemical trails that are coming down in nano size. We're breathing them all in, and so those metals really are sort of a, I don't know the term, I want to say stimulation for the nanotechnology in us. And when I say nanotechnology, I'm not talking about nanoparticles. Nanoparticles have been around in space and on the planet for many millions of years. That just means tiny particles. But now we have nanotech, and we have smart dust. We have things that are smart, and every time you see the word smart, you know that it has been bioengineered. So
it's an acronym,
now
I'm pretty sure.
We have a whole different setup going on that in order to stay safe, or I can't remember your term that you used, protect ourselves.
To fight off, yeah.
Yeah, to fight off. I have a theory, but I don't know if it holds any water whatsoever, by the way. But I have the nanotech in me, and I know that because once I was going to go visit Clifford several years ago, we were going to go over some of the specimens that people had been sending in of the Morgellons they had. And we were going to do some microscope work, and we were going to do this and that. And when 2 weeks before I was leaving, I suddenly got an outbreak on my calves, on the lower leg, and just a whole lot of like a rash, which can be how Morgellons first appears. There were no lesions, no gaping holes with little wiry guys coming out. But when I would pick at these little polyps on my legs, what I would find inside would be a very small crystal. So when I arrived to see Clifford, we scraped with a razor blade a lot of these off my legs and put them under a microscope at about 3,000 power, and to see if there were Morgellons too. I had very little Morgellons, but I had a lot of these crystals. And then when I left there, we hadn't really decided what was what. He was going to do more work. And I get back home, and within 2 weeks, suddenly, it's all cleared up. It's all cleared up. And that was the moment when I realized, oh, I get it. They trigger it from a distance electromagnetically. So say you have Morgellons in you, which I'm sure you do, and so do
Probably.
I don't know how much anymore. I don't know how much is still coming down, you see. I don't know. But they self-replicate as well. So, but they also have sexual organs. So anyway, I realized that, yeah, that's how they're going to control this nanotech. is it's already in us now, and not just Morgellons, but other types of nanotech. And it's all synthetic biology. Synthetic biology means artificially created, and yet able to live biologically in the bodies we still have. And with that, they're able to send a frequency to your body and activate the nanotech in you. Say they want to just activate the nanotech in your kidneys, or say they want to activate the nanotech in your brain. Now we're in the realm of targeting. And this is certainly how targeting is going to be amplified beyond what it has been. Now, I don't know if you guys know people who are targeted by electromagnetic weapons.
Not personally, no. I know of this situation, yeah. Targeted individuals and stuff.
And my guess is you probably do know people who are being targeted, but they don't realize they're being targeted. Or
Ethan is for sure. He's definitely being targeted. I'm joking. Sorry.
Well, I wish I could laugh, but I know too many targeted individuals, and they're in a living hell. It's a living hell, and it's completely illegal. I mean, you know,
these people cope. I don't know how they cope. Like, because they can literally be kind of activated with something in them whenever they want to target them. Seriously, can't they? Yeah, I don't know how they live with their lives.
That's what I'm saying. This nanotechnology, the nanobots, nanorobots that are in us, that's the way they work too, is they will be triggered remotely, not just by you or even your, you know, whatever you're living with, if you have a router in the room you're in, or the Internet of Things that's all around you, or a 5G pulse coming through your apartment or your home. No, it can be done very directly because they are now using the same kind of antennas, the phased array antennas that are used in HAARP, only those are very big. These little antennas can be nano-sized, and they are throughout us. And as some specialists have pointed out, even our sweat glands are antennas. Our DNA is an antenna. You know, all of this was, in my opinion, is part of how intelligently we were made, not by aliens, but by God, by the divine, by some sort of divine process of bringing some spiritual entity known as humanity into bodies that were made specially for their evolution. And as you know, I don't know if you know this, I'm a student of Rudolf Steiner. Many years.
I saw the website, yes, yeah.
Many years I've been a student of Steiner, so he's helped me to see. He's dead now, of course. I like my gurus to be dead so that I don't fall under their spell. And so our whole body, our whole nervous system, and the sensors that we have, we have an extraordinary, whereas you think we have only 5 senses, Rudolf Steiner explains we have 12 senses.
Wow, okay.
We are like a sense organ of planet Earth, and we are a consciousness bringer for planet Earth. When we are allowed our free will, when we are allowed our natural bodies, when we are allowed our natural planet. Now we have some people, I suppose I still have to call them people, because here's how I look at the whole idea of who's doing this and how clever it is. It's extremely clever. And a lot of people don't want to believe that humans have that kind of cleverness. They do, but usually they are inspired by spiritual beings that are anti-human. And that's kind of how I see Klaus Schwab and what's his minion's name that's by his side? You know who I mean.
The little Jewish fella, is that the one you mean?
Yeah.
I know the one you mean. I can't remember his name.
sorry, I've forgotten.
Ethan, do you recall his name? No, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, continue on.
Anyway, these guys, they're probably practicing Satanists, but they are influenced by something other than their humanity. I'll put it that way, and that has to be taken into account. So if there's something good that's going to come out of this thing we've just been through for 2 years, 2.5, it's that we're now really forced to think, what is being human? What is it really? I mean, yeah, okay, there's some bad guys, and if you don't do anything about them, they don't go away. They just get stronger because they have some sort of alliance with anti-human forces, would be a way I'd be comfortable saying. And I don't have to go off planet for that. I could say that it's inherent to this school that we incarnated to. This whole planetary experience is a huge school. And here is where we learn our lessons and develop our true morality beyond the religions that have attempted to uphold us while we get our bearings here as children. But now the moment has come when we are no longer to be children. We now must really become more adult and take as our institutions, including churches and temples and all that, are faulty. They're collapsing. Whatever vitality they had over the ages is abandoning them. And so now we ourselves must really take hold of our health, take hold of our spirituality, take hold of our relationship with our communities and with the world at large, and do serious commitment and work. See, I don't think of the word work as a dirty word. I love work. I have always loved work because work really builds my will and makes me stronger. So that
good for the body, mind, and soul, yeah.
So that I can face the evil that Rudolf Steiner said that the number one job of the enlightened of the 21st century would be to confront evil and name it. You name it, just as in the stories of Jesus when he was going around and finding sick people and driving out demons, etc. He would always ask, what is your name? Because if you have the name, if you have the frequency of an entity, you take charge of it. And that would be how I look at my great idea for the nanotechnology, that now we are breathing in every day trillions and trillions and trillions of nanosensors and nanobots. I'm sorry to tell you that, but
are these things, are we passing through us? Or
not pass through. They remain. You cannot
remaining.
kill them. You cannot eliminate them through urine or feces or sweat.
Yeah, okay.
No, they remain because they're on a leash too, to their master.
So they're sort of being tethered to us at the same time, are they?
Well, they're implanted in us through the aerosols. Mm-hmm. Those, not counting the inoculation ones, but the ones in the aerosols are implanted, and they have instructions because they're nanobots. They are AI systems. They are the foot soldiers of AI, and they are programmed to go and nestle into various tissues, organs, whatever in our bodies. They all can get through the blood-brain barrier very easily because they're so tiny, and so they are throughout our bodies. I particularly notice them if I eat. See, I eat organically. That's why I'm in such good shape at 75. But when I eat GMOs, I right away notice activity in the nanobots. I can feel them, particularly down my legs to my feet, because it's our legs and feet that carry us on the earth and are the closest to the geomagnetic grid that infuses all the earth. Remember? It's all a grid in the earth. And that is completely connected to the magnetosphere, which goes all the way up to 22,000 miles above us, I believe. Anyway, it's a huge, huge thing. And so there are things that affect the life of the nanobots. But what I was saying about if you know their name, like regarding demons and regarding entities, let's call them entities. People don't like the word demons anymore. Let's call them entities. And by the way, the word demon is not the thing with the horns. And no, it's actually unredeemed human thoughts and feelings and acts that are loose on the world, loose in the world, and need redemption, need to be transmuted into something good. That's sort of our condition. That's sort of a condition of coming to the earth. A lot of people feel very disappointed that it was not the paradise of their childhood that they thought it was. We've really come here with very hard work ahead of us. And it's just unfortunate that our religions and our parents and all the establishment people don't give us better tips on the fact that it's a lot of work to be here. So I have an experiment running, and it is this. I am attempting to develop a conscious relationship with the nanobots in my body. I know they're there. I can sometimes feel them, not always, because my diet is so alkaline. This is really important. I keep a very close tabs on my diet. Not that I eat like a saint, I don't, but I know what produces a kind of environment by which the nanobots will self-replicate like crazy, and that's acidity.
Yep.
So you've got to watch out for acidity. So I eat very alkaline, therefore I don't have a lot of activity like Morgellons sufferers do.
Yeah. So you're making an environment within they are not happy with, basically, or will not propagate as much and stuff.
That's right. They won't propagate, and they're sort of in stasis. They're not moving a lot.
Not doing anything, sort of, yeah.
So I don't notice them. But someday, I assume our masters out there who control the telecom industry and the utility industry and the nuclear industry and the energy industry will flip a switch, a 5G switch, and boom, my nanobots are going to wake up and do their master's will, whatever that is.
Turn this into mindless drones or something, yeah.
That, or for the people who have received the inoculations and the boosters, possibly death, a kill switch. So, you know,
that's sort of my thoughts too. Is it's probably an inbuilt kind of kill switch that can be, and no one will be able to trace it back to anything. All of a sudden, they'll probably just blame another pathogen or something, you know. But enough, they're actually the ones doing the kill switch. Also, that guy's name you were referring to is Yuval Noah Harari.
Yeah, Harari, Mr. Harari.
That's the guy,
yeah.
And he was quoted as saying, "Humans are now hackable animals. The whole idea that humans have this soul or spirit and nobody knows what's happening inside them, and they have free will that's over." That's what he believes, and that's Klaus Schwab's offsider.
Mr. Harari, yes, sir.
Yes. So this is the way these people think. There's a reason why they think this way, isn't it? It's not just because they're fucking crazy or something. They actually believe this stuff because they're helping to orchestrate a lot of this too.
They're raised this way. They're raised with these thoughts. The elites.
Yeah, with this elitist attitude. That's right.
There's tremendous mind control used and tremendous. Believe it or not, they're all terribly abused in the elite families. Terribly abused from childhood on.
That's sort of that very much what is it, sort of Project Monarch kind of treatment, isn't it? This
Yes.
Tavistock kind of way of raising people and things. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, and it's done in the elites on purpose to prepare them for for handling the reins of power over the world, because these elites have run this world for thousands of years. So, I have compassion for them, but that does not make them my friends.
Yeah. We need them to change their ways. Yeah, Elana, we've probably got about 5 minutes or so. So for this one, we can definitely get you back on for another chat another time as well too. But for this one,
you're so kind to give me this time so that I could make up just a little bit of what
I'm just happy that you're here.
Yeah. So for the 5 minutes, let me say that all this is gone into in the third and last geoengineering book that I'm going to write, and that's the Geoengineered Transhumanism, how the environment has been weaponized by electromagnetics, by chemicals, electromagnetics, and nanotechnology for synthetic biology. And it's a very big book, and it should be read like a textbook in a sense, or why not like the I Ching, where you just kind of open it up one day and go, I wonder what this is going to say. But to start learning about the technology, because that's your first step to taking care of yourself in this very difficult era that we are now entering. And this
a lot of people, I don't think they can make that end conclusion, because they're like, what is all this about? What's all this, like, hear this 5G, what's all this I hear about chemtrails and all that sort of stuff, and they can't quite get to that end point, which is this formation of this synthetic biology, this melding of machine and man that they're trying to push for, this transhumanist push for that synthetic biology.
And the preparation of the environment for a transhuman, making the environment absolutely inimical to a true human. That's where we are. That's what they've been doing all these years.
So it's hard for people to wrap their heads around that too, Elana. They can't quite. People think, that's crazy. How can people think that way? But these people do. They literally do think this way. This is what they are pushing for. Yeah,
if you don't study the elites, then it won't make sense to you.
Yeah, you can't. You have to get your head around that mindset, hey, because we don't think like that. We're good people, We're the anti to all of this stuff. We don't think this way, but they do, and people need to wrap their head around that.
Oh, and they'll do anything to attain, even give up their own children for it. So, so to get the book, I just want people to know, yes, you can buy it from Evil Amazon, but you could also get the color edition from a little tiny bookstore in Seattle called the Rudolf Steiner Bookstore. And the color edition is just a few dollars more than the black and white, but I was not able to get it in a mass printing kind of way. So I have a separate printing company for the color edition. There are 60 illustrations that look better in color than black and white.
Is this something that they'll send? Will they do overseas postage if people are interested? If any of the listeners, they do. Okay, wonderful.
You pay the postage. I mean, it's a bit of a price, but this book, it's the only book like it anywhere yet. I'm absolutely amazed. I'm the only person writing about this travesty of the planet and the human being, but eventually there will be more writers. So that's all. Is that 5 minutes?
Absolutely. No, well, pretty much. You're almost bang on, actually. Ethan, before we finish up for this show, and again, thank you so much for Elana for coming on and sparing the time that she has. Anything you want to ask her? We still got a couple minutes if you want to, mate. If you wanted to pick her brain or add anything to the conversation, Ethan.
No, General. I think it's been a great overview. I've definitely been interested in as you mentioned, the synthetic biology, this brave new world model that they're really building, and this is a very interesting perspective on that. I've definitely learned a lot on this episode. I will definitely have to look into a lot more of this larger sort of connection with everything. So I don't really have much questions because I've learned a lot in this episode. So I'll have to go have a look for myself and have a look at what Elana's talking about for sure.
Yeah,
This is
because there definitely is a
there
connection
really
there,
is.
isn't there, Ethan? All these things like I said, at the beginning, we've been talking about for such a long time with all these individual little topics and stuff, but they all combine together, and it seems to be the end goal is what Elana has proposed and put forward, which is that the synthetic biology, you know what I mean? This merging of man and machine and setting up the planet to sustain that particular form of life.
That's right. Run by AI. All of it run by AI. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we know that's definitely part. What's the other? Not transhumanism. Technocracy. That's the other part of that technocratic agenda as well, because that's all about running everything with intelligent artificial intelligence. Running everything by computers and stuff.
Well, yeah, and the section in the book on the smart city is a real eye opener of what you're talking about. For
goodness, because we talk a lot about smart city programs here on the show, don't we, Ethan? They're trying to set them up all across the eastern seaboard of our country.
But it's the technology. It's the technology in the smart cities that will own you. It's not just the structuring of technocracy. No, it's the technology.
Yeah, that's just another facet of it. That sort of technocratic wet dream, in a sense. That's just another facet of this whole overlook of this picture, isn't it, Ethan?
Yeah.
Well, Romola D from Romola D Reports has been on my show a couple of times, on my member show, and she interviews a lot of targeted individuals a lot, and we were talking about Alphabet and the Google complex, sort of the deeper military links and everything to technology and how advanced it is, and she was even saying that herself. She was saying it's far beyond what we even imagine now. Everything is going inside of us. That's where the control comes. And she was talking about smart cities, saying no, it's not just going to track population movements and be a surveillance grid. It's actually the sensors are going to be inside of you. It's going to be, once we merge with machine fully immersed within this grid, it's going to track absolutely everything. So
yeah, but you should probably not use the future tense anymore. It's already happening.
Yeah, true.
It's already a done deal.
Yeah, we need to kind of talk about it in the present.
And she's wonderful. She's so amazing.
Yeah. No, she's a great thinker. I really enjoy her perspective. I was hoping you might be familiar with her. That's how I got introduced to this whole targeted individuals concept. So, it's an avenue I'm still learning to get involved with. So yeah, I'll have to check out your book and a lot more things. So
Elana, there's another link to for all of us here on your website where you've got your book picture under an ionized sky from chemtrails to space fence lockdown. There's a quote on the little image you've got. Freeland is a great investigator and the person who wrote that was T.J. Coles. And T.J. Coles writes a lot of articles for Ethan's website, TOTT News, as well.
Everything goes full circle, doesn't it?
Yes.
It's funny, isn't it? So it's even more fitting that we had you on the show as well. It all seems to fit in nicely with everything we've been talking about. So we might have to wrap it up there, but I'm definitely keen to get you back on again. Is there any more future works in the progress that you're working on right now? Like, is there another project, another book coming out? What's in store for Elana for the coming future?
Well, I am now preparing the book for a second edition being purchased, I guess is the word, by Inner Traditions. They approached me. They have published amazing books. The Tao of Physics was one a long time ago, and the Dancing Wooly Masters. They do science and technology books with a spiritual bent. And so they've been watching me for a while, they said, and they approached me, and I see a way to do it where I may make two books out of this one big book. And I'm kind of excited about it now. Then when that project is done, then I really want to write a book on targeting and torture, because I know a lot.
Good to get some testimonies, from people.
And we really need a book like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. It really is. It's incredible. And it really does help to understand much of this to tie it all in, because people are kind of left wondering a lot. I mentioned it before, and I'll say it again. All these little individual things and topics we keep talking about, chemtrails, 5G, nanotech, all these sort of things, the vaccines. They're all separate topics for people to ponder and to go over, but they never can put them all together and create that big picture and what it really is all about. And it really does appear that you've done that very well with your book.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to look at trying to get a copy and have that on the shelf as well. Well, I have a read, of course, before I put it on the shelf, but you know what I mean? It's another one of those ones you want to have in your collection is what I'm saying. But yeah, thank you again. I really definitely would like to get you back on in sometime in the near future as well. We'll touch base again and have a chat about it. If anything else, of course, pops up that really needs a point hammered home or needs investigating and we need your opinion on, I'd love to come back to you and sort out another interview as well. So thank you again.
Because I owe you.
No, you don't. It's okay. Please, you're our guest. It's fine. Ethan and I, we can do a show, like it's all good. We just sit there and we talk and we bring up articles. It's all good. We were halfway through a show anyway, so but it's all good. It's not a problem at all. We're just thankful that you were able to get on and to spare that time.
Thank you so much for being so forgiving. Thank you.
Not a problem at all. Thank you so much.